Hey folks, welcome to another live stream. Today, we're going to talk about yesterday's trade call. We're going to see how everything is performing today. Alright, so let's start out with Bitcoin. Just give me 1 second to load it up here. Let's see. Yeah, trend is still sustained. Let's see if we're getting volatility at the expected pivot as well. Let's wait for 3D Wave PM to load up, and then we can go ahead and check our longest overexpanded period. Beautiful. Looks like we are looking at the 91 period as defined by the 1 hour chart. That is going to define our sustained trend. So let's go ahead and adjust that value real quick to 90. Would you look at that? All right, guys. Really, this is the best trend identification you could ever use. Okay? Because as long as we're above this blue line, trend will be sustained. And when I say blue line, I mean the top edge of the blue band. So as long as we are above the top edge of that blue band, Bitcoin is going to sustainably trend, right? And I don't like to set targets for price, except I do have a target on this particular instance. But we also have the sustainable trend on a shorter term time frame. So if we are going to deal with a sustainable trend, we need to talk about targets. Right, and we also need to talk about the previous overexpansion because that's really important as for defining how we determined this was a breakout. Okay, if we go back and look at the 300 period, or as I previously said with more accurate results, 295, we're going to load up a 295 band in addition to our current one. Okay, and we're going to see how that interacts with price as well. Beautiful. Okay, so we have two things defining trend right now. However, I am inclined to believe that the shorter term period is going to provide more of trend identification. What we see here, right? We even wick down to retest our previous breakout value, whereas our candle closes are defined by the new upward expansion of trend. So, yes, as we determined yesterday, Bitcoin is in a state of trending, and you should be in long positions for Bitcoin. If you wanted a long entry, well, I guess now is not the worst time, since you have very good risk management. You're just setting a stop loss below the bottom, or rather below the top edge of our blue band, or more aggressively below the bottom edge of our purple band, or top edge of our purple band, excuse me. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Oh, I have no idea what guitar amp I'm using. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is good. This is the right one. I can't actually hear it, so. Let me whip out my phone so I can actually read the comments here.
Hey, Daryl, would you choose the network rated #1 in the nation?
Ooh, ads. Beautiful. So our trend is defined. Very nice, guys. Okay. 9 viewers. Did I announce this live stream? I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, that's fine. I guess it's because I'm a few minutes early today. I guess I deserve that. Yeah, okay. Also, interesting note. Yeah, there is a general consensus this is a bullish move. I'm very happy with that. What is Mick drawn here? Hold on. What are you doing, brother? No, this period you're using. 8. 290 and the 14. Okay, Mick. Okay, what am I looking at here? I guess. Okay, with what you're using, there was only one position you really could have taken here. It looks like you have your CCI set to. I don't know what CCI period you're using. I can't tell. Okay, but you would have taken a short position from that mean, or rather from that CCI signal to the actual mean, and that would have been very short-lived, right? Because it was a lateral mean inversion instead of trending mean inversion. As far as the 295 period, that's defined by the hourly chart, not the 5-minute chart. So that value isn't going to transfer over, unfortunately. Now, where you do have that blue section on your CCI with WavePM, yes, you are getting that that new downward expansion, and that blue does mean compression. So yes, that could have been implied for short-term downward trending for the duration of that CCI period's expansion, which could have been tradable. But you would also be betting against longer-term trending as defined by the 1-hour and 4-hour charts. And, well, you don't do that. You don't bet against longer-term trending. At least unless you're doing a mean reversion position, and this pivot is still aligned for growth. So I would actually not consider that a good scenario to play. So that's Bitcoin. I'm still bullish. However, we need to define what our target is, right? I actually defined it in a TradingView idea pretty recently. I still expect it to hold. And we also need to talk about the daily 50 moving average because, that's right, we just broke above the daily 50. Okay, so if we load up the daily 50 moving average, that's 59, not 50. Shoot. Okay, yeah, that's a nice volatility pop-up above the daily 50, and that still implies long position. So, what we need to look at here is the top edge of this plume, right? That's 250. So if we load up a 250 band, guess what we're going to see, guys? That's going to be our target, or rather our pivot, if you will, for how high Bitcoin can possibly go. Now, the thing about this target is it's going to be more of a pivot than a target. So if we go above that edge right there, well, that's going to mean we revert fully to the 250 moving average. But as long as we're up below it, we will be aligned for decay as defined by the longest period. And now, what's so important about that is it's the last straw for a defining trend. And, well, Lynn, I see your comment about closing your shorts. If I zoom up on this chart right here, let's talk about this real quick. Okay? If you want to close your shorts now and attempt re-entry on the top edge of this band, yeah, that's fine. Also, if you're in a futures contract, not a perpetual slot, potentially, yeah, if you want to be aggressive, you cannot close your shorts until you are up above this purple line, right? Because I'm still expecting a retest of the weekly 200 moving average. Just be aware you're betting against short-term trending. So, what do you do? That's a good question. What do you do? Okay. What you do is you wait for your CCI on this period here, 14 period, that's fine. You can wait for that to roll down to get short entries down to the weekly 200 mean. That should treat you nicely. Yes, there was another signal like that failed up here. However, for the relative period that did roll down, you did revert to the 14 moving average. And there was a nice period of compression at that location. So, looking at this chart, expectations are still aligned for decay as defined by the daily. And because we are still technically aligned for decay, well, long positions are risky. However, you are capable of continuing taking long positions as long as you are defined in a position of growth, or rather in a state of growth as defined by the 1-hour and 4-hour charts. It's clean, guys. This is a good time to trading. As far as altcoin goes, they're not actually responding as bullishly as I would want them to. It does make things difficult. So let's pop over to Vibe, and let's talk about how I intended to trade this and what it means for us, right? Because trading breakout works as long as you define sufficient retracement values. You just need to be wary of when those retracement values actually hit. So, if we define this back to 290 or 395, Okay, right, our longest overexpanded period as defined by the 1 hour chart. That's going to be our target for mean reversion. So really, you should not be in vibe right now. You should wait for the retrace to 760. I said 765 last night because, yes, of course, the mean does travel upwards as time goes on. And I was being generous with that position. So, this still appears to be... I actually determined that by looking at my higher resolution chart. So I'm going to actually say 395 is correct. Yeah, guys, let's set an alert for this, since when this hits, I will be wanting to re-enter long on Vibe, right? We did have a strong breakout, and I'm going to do 770 for an early signal. I also had KMD set off alerts today. So, we are going to look at KMD BTC. Let's wait for our wave PM to load. Actually... why did I set alerts on this? This is not looking like what I remembered it to look like. I guess I could have been going for a short mean reversion position here as defined by the longest period. But... perhaps I was looking for this trend continuation. This throughout here. And it obviously failed, so that's probably why I've forgotten about it. Okay, never mind. KMD is no longer on my watch list. Go ahead and get your questions in for today, guys. Well, I load up an additional chart. Ethereum is going to be a given. Just give me 1 second. FBTC. Let's see if this is just responding bullishly as with Bitcoin's new upward break. Nope, looks like we are getting consolidation. Okay. So just wait for our wave PM to load. And let's do the 4-hour chart so we can define that period. Alright, now this value has trickled up, which is pretty interesting to get that kind of sustained trend. We're looking at the 250, so let's go ahead and load it. If we could potentially do some short entries on F, that would be nice. You know, kind of a counter position to all this. Nice. Okay, as defined by the 250 period, we are still technically aligned for growth. So, if we... it's interesting. We're getting a CCI roll up here, which does imply... well, 14 period's not overexpanded, so... So, how would we play this, folks? Yeah, that 295 period is still overexpanded. Or 250, excuse me. So, really, we're going to expect entry around 37,000 sats right here. That's going to be our ideal entry where this would dip down and hopefully get a CCI roll up with a confluence signal. So, we'll set an alarm around that value. Add alert. Perfect. Yep. Still technically aligned for growth. Yeah, I like it. Let's hold on to this chart. I've got an alert set. I'm still very interested in this. ICX. That was one of my first calls. It's doing really well, actually. I actually want to point this out. How many of you guys are actually still on the ICX call? Because I wish I was. That's just insane how far it's actually managed to travel since the start of this month. How far have I gone? October. Shit, I went too far. I'm in November. Jesus. Hold on. Should be right here. Awesome. Hey guys, this bad boy. This guy is doing great. We just hit play. Got real close to hitting first target. How did I even set this? Hold on. Okay, never mind. We can just do this. Yeah, 25%. That's good. I guess we could start looking for trend re-entry here. We could define how far I expect ICX to go back down and look for a re-entry. Okay, let's load up that 250 period. It's already loaded up. Okay, cool. We are now expecting mean reversion. Our ideal short entry would have been a, whatchamacallit, 25 period CCI roll down, and we've already seen that. So, if we're looking for another CCI rollout, no? Well, I would not touch ICX in any way unless you know an exchange where you can actually short this coin. I'm pretty sure there is no exchange where you can short this coin. If there was, this would be a very profitable position, as of last night anyway. So, it's clean. Really, guys, I wish I could take more shorts. Because this right here, this CCI roll down, needs to retrace down to this value, right? 667, I'd say. Okay. Yep, I'm satisfied with that. Okay, you guys didn't bring me any questions. XRP bounced. Yeah, it did. I actually thought XRP was aligning for decay yesterday, which is why I did not call it. However, ironically, it still bounced from the value that, well, I anticipated, the 9,000 region. However, this is a new downward trend, and until the trend is broken, I would not stay in any significant long positions for XRP. Sure, it would have been nice to catch that bounce off the 9,000 value, but I didn't, so that's that. And I think Nico did. He listens to me. He listens to my live streams. But, Nico, if you're watching this now, I actually would not stay in that position. Not at the moment. Sorry, mate. It's good, but it's not great. Yeah, because you're betting against longer-term trending to the downside. I think the uptrend for XRP is over, until, of course, we have a new upward break, in which case, well, we can resume bullish expectations. Also, folks, if you are watching this video, if you could like it for me, that would make a world of difference. It really does make a difference for the algorithm. Viewer interaction, my friends, is one of the most important parts of getting more views. And that is handled by you and you alone. Of course, I can like my own videos, but that won't do me much good. I just liked my own video. Join me. Okay, let's talk about XLM and how I got it wrong. Okay. It's kind of funny. Alright, okay, we're going to talk about XLM here. So, okay, we had signal after signal after signal after signal for long positions, and they were all technically true because, well, you're still inside a band that's anticipating mean reversion. However, you would have gotten a stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, and then this one would have been successful. And I did not choose to call it, well, because the profit ratio simply wasn't there, because we could have expected a retrace down to the bottom edge of the band, and your upside would have only been 10%. Sure, it's a 5-to-1 profit ratio, but from the previous failures, I didn't really consider it worth investing in. So, here we are, not in XLM. I guess that's good enough. What time is it? It's 1:10. I do have lunch plans. I'm going to check the comments one last time, see what you guys want of me. Litecoin. I'd be happy to look at Litecoin for you, brother. Litecoin. Okay. Oh my, quite the breakout. So, you might want to enter a short. Okay, let's define the pivots. Shall we? Let's do so on the 1 hour chart for accuracy's sake. Okay, I'm gonna guess 450. That's correct. We'll let a 450 period and see how this plays out. I'm gonna guess, yeah, we're still technically aligned for growth at the moment. No mean reversion position yet. Would see some more upward expansion. This is probably just gonna flag out here to allow for the short-term compression of shorter distributions. That's really all I have to say about this chart. Sorry, guys. Because if you could find the range of the compressing value, you might make some money, but nothing I'd bet on here. Christ, I've gotten so conservative with my trading. And I sold out of TRX too early. That's fine. Actually, did TRX see its mean reversion value hit? I'm kind of curious. Let's define the two clouds here. Let's look at, rather, this without the volatility overhead is about 130. So how much you bet this is going to trend as defined by the 130? Do you think that's likely, guys? I do. I think it's very likely. My. Okay, that was incorrect. I guess we have to account for volatility overhead, shall we? Okay. 450 period. I already have the 450 loaded up. Yeah, and so as defined by the 450, we are still technically aligned for growth. Okay, that's good. The trend has continued. Right, what was I saying? I was going to do link. Yeah, and then I'll look at the Dow Jones, and then I'll be on my way. Ooh. Catching a falling knife. I'm into that. Okay, let's do it. Let's catch it. We are going to define the 80 period. 1 moment, please. Nice. Okay. Your retracement value is going to be the 80 moving average, which is currently at a location of 8,700. Let's just set an alert a little bit above it so we can be notified if that will hit. Right? Since bouncing or bounces off mean reversions are going to be one of our best ways of catching these kinds of positions. So I'm going to hold on to this one. It's a good chart, mate. Thank you. Okay, Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's take a look. I'm fond of this chart, folks. It's good. It's a good chart. I got about 5 minutes left before I have to get rolling here. Okay, we saw a significant bounce. Let's talk about mean reversion. For this new downward expansion, let's define our retracement value as defined by the 200 period. Let's see if we're anticipating short-term mean reversion on the Dow Jones. What fun. Okay, 200 period. Nice. Okay, so goodness gracious, this might be a great short entry, folks. If you want to attempt shorts on the bottom edge of that 200 band there, that would be your best bet for expectations aligned 40K. If this pivot is broken, you will see full mean reversion all the way up to the daily 200 moving average. So this is actually going to be a pivot that's going to decide like the performance for the rest of the year. I'm being serious. This is a very exciting time. Not daily 200, 4-hour 200, excuse me. But really, if you want to try shorting the Dow Jones Industrial Average at this time with a stop loss above the top edge of this purple band, you're going to be very well off. Okay? Let's actually create a trading view idea for this because it's just so clean. Just have our stop loss above the top edge there. Define our entry right around there. And then our target, well, let's just assume lower low, right? It's a clean trade. We'll just wait for retracement to re-enter. Okay. Pivots for a mean reversion as defined by the longest overexpanded period. Excellent. Let's change that to overexpansion. Oh, short one letter. Well, it's only one pivot, so I'll just change it to pivot. Nice. Quite the title. So, we're going to say sufficient retracement value for the continuation of trend. If this pivot is broken to the upside, we will see reversion to the 4-hour 200 MA. Okay. Short position, category, trend analysis. Just DJI, Dow Jones. And we'll do Dow Jones Industrial. Okay. Dow Jones short. Excellent. Make that available on my Twitter. We'll also say a long position to the 4-hour 200 MA, or a long position, if you will, is also viable if the pivot is crossed. Okay, that's it. Okay, folks, that's gonna be it for me today. I gotta go get some ramen. It's been fun. See y'all tomorrow at the same time. So, with no further ado, that check out. See you, folks.